Good morning, everybody. I hope this video finds you well. Today, I want to talk about the segmentation of consciousness. This is part of my Basics series, and this is, I guess, Basics 105. Now, I've already talked about the segmentation of consciousness in an earlier patron video. I used little beads to illustrate that. But I'm going to make a basic version of that video for this particular series. And in doing so, I'm going to use these conventions, so it's a different style. Okay. Now, essentially, what you have is, whether it's spirituality, whether it's religions, whether it's near-death experiences, there is an idea that soul, everybody refers it to soul consists of a triad. If you're a Catholic or a Christian, you'll understand the idea of the Father and the Son and the Holy Ghost. Or in other words, that's Jesus, that's yourself, Jesus, and God. Likewise, if you studied Oriental mysticism, you'll know about the various levels of heaven. And it's stratified with distinct set layers. I would argue that both of those are the same thing, looking at it in a different way, really. On one end of the extreme, you have the denser, more grittier aspect of who you are, and on the other end of the scale, you have the energetic, more fleeting elements of who you are. What this means and what this boils down to is that soul is not one big chunk like a rock. Instead, soul is like water. The lighter water is at top and the heavier stuff is at the bottom and everything in between. And we, as humans having a mind, or just freshly from the human body and adapting to having consciousness and mind, thinks in terms of personification or people. And we do that with Jesus and God and all the rest, right? Now, the consciousness, of course, is like a rock sitting in a life preserver. The tendency is for the rock to go to the very bottom, and that is called entropy. It's a tendency to go to the least powerful energy state. And so when I say we're talking about water, I'm talking in terms of energy. And I just want to say basically that I find it convenient and familiar to divide it into three general states. Consciousness, which is a part of you, soul. It's you, soul. The part of you that goes in the body is called consciousness, and that interacts with the body, with the brain. And I don't want to repeat myself too much, but the brain is the part of you that interacts with this reality. Tells you what food is good, tells you everything else, and tells you how to walk, how to work, how to get money, all the rest. Now, soul has, of course, consciousness, but also has higher energy aspects of it. The middle aspect, which I like to call, is constantly referred to as the Jesus aspect, or the guardian angel aspect. This is the part of you, or of course the Manted aspect. This is the part of you that is interacts with your soul in this reality. You are intimately connected to it, but you can't see it because consciousness is of a lower energy state. So this middle energy state is like a frying pan that you put kernels of corn or beans or lentils inside of it, and as the heat is turned up, they start popping out of the pan because the energy is transferred to the kernels and they don't want to stay in the pan anymore. So what you're doing is this higher energy aspect of you, this Jesus aspect, this guardian angel aspect, this angel aspect of you, is near you, intimately entangled with you, but you can never see it. They are also, and can also be considered to be the little voice in your head that sometimes is depicted as an angel on a shoulder and a devil on the other shoulder. So if you're in great distress and you start talking to yourself and you start getting answers in your head, yeah, that's this guardian angel, yeah, that's this Jesus, yeah, that's this deity that you personify so much. That's the aspect of you, right? So this is a very important aspect of who you are. This higher energy aspect can give you great insight in the world around you if you only dare listen. Consciousness interacts with the mind, and you have limitations because of the limitations of the mind. This ESP, this extrasensory perception, these higher abilities, is your interaction with your higher selves, whether it's an angel, guardian angel, or Jesus, or Manted, whatever you may wish to call it, is your higher energy self that shares this reality with you, that shares this universe with you. This is a part of you that is intimate with you and knows every single thing about you, but is too high of an energy for you to communicate directly with because you're too tied to the visceral world around you through the mind. Now, there is, of course, the highest energy aspects of who you are in soul. The highest energy aspects of who you are in soul. And this we call God or Nirvana. And we always say that God exists in heaven. Well, God transcends all universes. God is beyond all universes, can be in universes, can be outside of universes. Universes have no bearing on whatever God is. God is your highest element, quanta, also knows intimately about what's going on with you, but you have no control of it. You attribute this world that you have. Sometimes you see the hand of God in things. That's an idiomatic expression that is used in the United States. The hand of God is certainly moving things in certain directions. No, that's the pre-birth world line template that you created when you were intimately connected with God. In other words, when you were entirely soul. And that's the way it works. So essentially what we're talking here is soul is constructed primarily. It can be broken down to finer points, such as causal plane and etheric plane and mental plane and all that. But you can consider it as a triad. A lower energy self, consciousness, a middle energy self that is intimately tied with you but is but is consisting of ESP and other perceptions that transcends the mind, and then of course the all-told, all-seeing eye, the highest energy portion of you, of who you are, also known as God. I think it's important for us to keep in mind that there are different kinds of souls for different kinds of manifested species. In general, in general, the humans are a segmented soul, which we like to call as individualized souls. And then there's matrix souls and hive souls and all these other kinds of souls. Basically, throughout the universe, most souls are interconnected. For reasons we're not going to get into right now, human souls tend to be individualized packets. And so you might see a death and a rebirth, a pet dying and then showing up, like in the case of my one dog, Shalpi. He died and then there was a little kitten that showed up. Kittens and dogs and cats both have matrix souls. So when they leave, they can slide in the matrix to a similar physical body. Humans, not so easily. So I have to differ here from Hindu teachings on that. Doesn't mean I'm right, doesn't mean I'm wrong, it just means I'm going to diverge from that for this moment. We can elaborate on that later on in the future. But I'm just saying that as far as we know, we have a human soul, that it can be classified into three primary groupings. The one that is working with the brain, which is consciousness. The one that is within this reality, but the brain is too slow for it to perceive it, which we call guardian angels or spirits or mantats.
Once with him, once in his presence, this earth and the human thoughts of everything here are gone. I didn't feel like I was separate from him. I felt like I was part of him and that he was part of me. It was just like if he had wrapped his arms around me and drew me in. He was holding me just like a mother holds a baby. It was just total acceptance. It's the most loving feeling that I've ever had. Jesus and I communicated without saying a word. You know, people talk about telepathy. It was much more than that. I felt and knew exactly what he wanted me to know, and he knew exactly what I wanted him to know.
The highest form of us that transcends all universes, we call God. Okay? And that's the sole point of this little video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope that it makes complete sense to you. And give me some feedback. Is this stuff beneficial to you guys, or is it just too elementary for you? I really would like to hear, okay? Anyways, I'm going to close this one here for now. I hope that in every day, in every way, that your life improves. And know that I believe in you. Take care, people.